Welcome to the Humanergy Leadership Podcast, where we tackle your toughest leadership challenges and share practical tools to help you lead with impact. So welcome to this episode. I'm your host, David Wheatley, and today I want to talk about the leadership pyramid. And if you want a graphic of this, I encourage you to go to humanergy.com. You'll see that there's a freebiz/tools drop-down, and you'll see a great graphic of the leadership pyramid. Basically, it's 7 things. And if I start from the bottom of the leadership pyramid, the first one is authentic respect. It's about being genuinely who you are and respecting the people around you. Next up is listening. So after that is summarizing understanding. Then the fourth one up is asking powerful questions. The fifth one up is sharing a perspective. The sixth one up is giving advice, and the seventh one is telling people what to do. What we found with these 7 things is that all leaders do all of them. But there's a difference, because you can have a pyramid with a strong base at the bottom. That means that it's much broader at the bottom where the authentic respect is, and a very small peak at the top where the tell is. That's what we call a greater good oriented pyramid. And what that means is I'm going to spend more time at the stuff at the bottom of our pyramid than I am at the top. And so you can see it looks like a pyramid with a flat base at the bottom. This greater good orientation matches with our 4 choices of leadership. And it's the idea that we understand what the interconnections are between us and the other stakeholders in any situation. And if we do that, then we will operate significantly more from the bottom of the leadership pyramid than we will from the top. In particular, those bottom 4 stages. Authentic respect being the broadest one, listening being the next one, summarizing understanding, and then asking powerful questions. And most of the great leaders I've worked with spend, I'd say 99% of their time in those bottom 4 elements of the leadership pyramid. However, there is a inverse version that imagine a pyramid that stood on its point and its broad top now. And that means that we do a lot more of the telling, advising, and the sharing perspectives, and a lot less of the powerful questions, summarizing, listening, and the authentic respect. And that's what we call a self-focused or control-oriented way of seeing, of leading. And this is a tendency what people have to do early in their careers. They tend to go to the advice and the tell because they're the expert as the new leader, and they feel that obligation to tell people what to do. The higher up they go, the more they realize that it actually is the opposite way around, and that what's critical is that solid base of authentic respect, that then most of what you're going to do is listen to what people are saying and deeply understand that so that you can summarize that understanding. And then if you ask the right question, you unlock the thinking of the people around you. You don't need to tell them what to do, give them advice, share your perspective if you know the right question that unlocks that thinking. And those powerful questions tend to be questions that are not judgmental. They're not yes or no answered, so they're open-ended. And they are really getting to get people stop and think about that next step. They're also not questions that are really just advice disguised as a question. Something like, have you thought about doing this? Can sound like a question, but it's really advice. They're genuinely curious, open, we don't know the answer to them questions. The leadership pyramid is a tool that's been fundamental to our work as coaches in the last 25 years. And it's also fundamental, I believe, to any leader who wants to build critical thinking in their team, that they are oriented to the greater good end, and that their green pyramid, if you're looking at the graphic, is the way that they operate. And they spend most of their time in the bottom 4 levels. If you're finding yourself telling people what to do, giving them advice, or sharing perspective way too much, then that means you're in a self-focus or a self-oriented, control-oriented way of looking at these same 7 things. That was the Humanergy Leadership Podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe, and visit humanergy.com for many more resources.